everyone. Hi. Good to see you again. Oh, gotta adjust this YouTube thing. Hi, just check the voice. Seems all right. Oh, good. Okay, let's start. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Insights with Lily Zhang. Today is 26th of November. I've been traveling in Italy, love it. So haven't done my live streaming for some time. Okay, how's everyone at the moment? Yeah, today I'm going to talk about, I haven't talked about this topic for a long time, coronavirus and vaccination. Well, unfortunately, because I thought we are at the end of the pandemic. So that's why I haven't talked about this topic for quite a while. But at the moment, I'm in Germany. You can see behind that's some of the Christmas market. We haven't seen that for 2 years, so this year is back. But as you can see, this sign, the 2G in German as geimpft and genesen, which means you either been vaccinated or recover from COVID-19, which means that's a restriction, that's a rule. If you are not having the certificate of geimpft, which is vaccinated, or you recovered from COVID-19, you are not allowed to go to this market or any other public, even on trains and buses. Basically, the rules being tightened because maybe you already seen the news. Germany is talking about or is experiencing the 4th wave of COVID-19. Well, the timing is really strange because Germany, basically, it's not the highest, the vaccination rate is not the highest in the world, but it's already official rate is 68% of Germans are fully vaccinated. 70% has at least one dose. So, and according to, I'm just using all the official numbers. There are about 5 million Germans so far has been infected. So that means at least 5 million Germans have natural immune, which is about 8%, 7 to 8% about the total population. And official rate of vaccination rate is 68%. That means at least 75% of Germans are immune. The number is quite high at the moment. The infections, almost the highest in 2 years. Yesterday is about 75,000 new cases. So I can understand why there are restrictions again, but now I'm having questions. I'm not a conspiracy believer, and I'm totally, actually, I support vaccine. I am personally, I've been fully vaccinated in August. I'm not just fully vaccinated. I'm just probably more than fully vaccinated just by accident. I've done 3 doses, 1 AstraZeneca and 2 Pfizer. That's because I travel in Australia and back to Germany. If I want to get the vaccination certificate, I have done 2. I have to do 2 doses in Germany. because Australia didn't give me a certificate. So basically, I am fully vaccinated, and also I pretty much had my, by accident, had my booster shot as well. So I'm more than fully vaccinated. So you can see I am the supporter of vaccine, but today's program, I'm going to talk about my questions. Now I start having questions about vaccine. Just because this so-called fourth wave happening at the stage we're supposed to have in herd immunity. Germany is, there are 78% of Germans are fully vaccinated, plus the 5 million, the 8% people naturally, they recovered. They already had an antibody. That means Germany already achieved 75% of people have the already immune to COVID-19. But where is the herd immunity? We've been told by scientists and by the government, once 70% of the population reaching immunity, the RO ratio, which is the reproduction ratio of the virus, should be less than 1%. That means the virus cannot infect more than one person, which called herd immunity. So most of the many countries, even, these days, because in Europe, the so-called fourth wave, in many countries, they started the fourth wave. But where is the herd immunity? Why don't we have the herd immunity? What's wrong there? That's strange. Also, of course, according to the official or the media, they all blame because the fourth wave is caused by people unvaccinated. Well, there are more than probably 25% of people not vaccinated. But why do we? Well, of course, they are the one easy to be blamed because they are the bad ones. They are not the ones to follow rules, of course. But when I think, well, number one, why didn't we blame the herd immunity? Basically, the herd immunity didn't happen. If there's herd immunity, the 25% of people not vaccinated doesn't matter. The virus shouldn't spread again. And number two, why the number is so high? It's so high. It's just way too many. At the moment, it's yesterday was 75%, 75,000 Germans, the new infections. That's more than, in March 2019, March 2020, that's when the pandemic started. Germany got into lockdown because daily cases are around 3,000. And then 2020 September, in winter time again, let's get into lockdown because daily cases more than 5,000, 10,000. And early this year, they got into lockdown again because the number is about 10 or 20,000. Now, after 2 years, nearly 2 years, after 75% of people are immune, the number are the highest, 75,000 people. Where are the new infections come from? I don't get the answer. They're just blaming those people unvaccinated. I think that's just asking the wrong question or not asking the right people. Number one, we should ask why there's no herd immunity. Number two, we should ask, does the vaccine work? Like I said, I'm not a, I am the one support vaccination. But now I start questioning, does the vaccine work? Well, the result, every expert will tell us, or the drug companies, pharmaceutical companies will tell us, that they show us the data, say Pfizer vaccine or BioNTech, Moderna, or those vaccines, they have 90% effectiveness against the virus. So, but they tell us the reason, as time goes by, the effectiveness just decline. Of course, okay, that's okay. That's the explanation. Okay, let's look at it. But how much protection do we have from the vaccine? From the numbers, I'm just talking about German numbers. Well, the numbers are so high. Number one, the numbers are very high. So where are those new infections come from? Well, come from some of them, of course, not vaccinated. But the fact is, there are quite a lot of people got infected after fully vaccinated. According to the official number, 60% of new infections come from people fully vaccinated. 60%. That's more than people not vaccinated. And, well, okay, another argument is vaccination, that doesn't fully protect you from infected. I agree with that. Vaccination just work out, just improve your immunity. The immune system doesn't 100% cut off the infection. Okay, that's right. But 60% of new infections come from people who are fully vaccinated. That's not right. 75% of people, or at least 68% of people are vaccinated. But infection, that's more than nearly 2/3 of people are vaccinated. But the new infections, more than half of them from people fully vaccinated. So something wrong there. I'm just asking questions. I'm not a virologist. I'm not a scientist. But I am the one who entitled to think. I am the one who's entitled to asking questions and asking the right questions. So, okay, the new infections, 60% of them are fully vaccinated. Okay, another argument is, say, the vaccination, can't protect you from infection, but can reduce the ICU rate, just protect you not going to hospital, and also the death rate. The number there, actually, I kind of a little bit agree, but not fully convinced, because half of the hospitalized people are fully vaccinated. That means 50% of them are still fully vaccinated. The number is still too high. 2/3 of people fully vaccinated, but half of them going to hospital. And the death rate reduced a bit from fully vaccinated, about 40%. Like I said, I'm here to ask questions. So instead of all the government, this is something I feel strange. Instead of asking questions about the effectiveness of vaccination, almost all government blame people who are not vaccinated. So that's something strange. That's something really strange. because all those numbers just showing the very, very high infection rate actually not really caused by people who are not vaccinated. Actually, those people fully vaccinated probably cause more. That's my observation. 2/3 of people vaccinated, but more than 60% of people new infected are from those 2/3. That means something. That means something we need to review. Instead of blaming those unvaccinated, we really should ask question about the vaccine and also the effectiveness of vaccine. So that's something I'm here to ask. Another, just that's about the vaccine also. Just I've done some interesting. I actually didn't do too much research. At the moment, I'm asking the effectiveness of vaccine, also the herd immunity. Why those things being promised by government not happening, and we are facing fourth wave, and we are facing maybe more knockdowns. The funny thing is Portugal today, Portugal is pretty much the highest vaccinated nation in the world. About 85% people are fully vaccinated. And Portugal today declare the country is going to introduce everybody, including those vaccinated, has to do tests to go to public area. And if some people, Germans, think 68% of vaccination rate is not high enough, they're blaming those ones not vaccinated. But Portugal, they have nobody to blame. 85% of people are vaccinated. That's very high. Plus, some people naturally immune or recovered. Their immune rate of the population should be more than 90%. But they have the fourth wave again. So questions about herd immunity and vaccine. When I'm not a scientist. I didn't do too many research. I'm a businesswoman. Yeah, I just did some interesting, read something about BioNTech, about the vaccine, about Bill Gates, just by curiosity. Yeah, I'm just admire, as a businesswoman, I just admire Bill Gates' business acumen. In 2019, September, BioNTech announced they have 100 million or more than that investment from Bill Gates. Bill and Melinda Foundation investment from them. September 2019. 3 months before the COVID-19 breakout. Oh, timing, just perfect. And I check BioNTech, which they're pretty much unknown in vaccination or vaccine research. Their research target is basically based on cancer and immune system, that's okay. And mRNA, for them, it's really not their major success, basically before the COVID-19. mRNA is not a new technology, according to my 30 minutes reading. mRNA, this research started in 1970s. So there are more than 50 years of research on that. There are thousands of scientists and pharmaceutical companies working on that for 50 years. Not much progress. And mRNA is technology as vaccine actually didn't happen in 50 years. And I would think BioNTech, the two, I think, Wu Xing, he's the director, also the chief science of this mRNA vaccine. He's supposed to be a mRNA expert. But from all my 30 minutes research, he hasn't done any publications on mRNA or vaccination. That's something I'll ask. Why this guy, he just in BioNTech, just from nowhere, and it just becomes so successful on mRNA vaccine suddenly since Bill Gates invested in this company in 2019. Also, Bill Gates invested in another company in 2000, well, not really in 2019, maybe earlier, Pfizer. So Bill Gates basically invested in Pfizer and BioNTech. And these are the most successful vaccine companies in 2020. As a businesswoman, I know business world, the hardest part is the timing. If you do an investment, the timing of the investment, the product, and your prediction about the future market. So those factors you cannot control. But of course, Bill Gates, he's the richest person in the world for many years, and he's very, very smart. I understand this part. But his timing on this pandemic and the vaccine is so perfect. It's just 100% perfect. 3 months after he invested in BioNTech, the biggest modern world pandemic started. And 6 months after he invested in BioNTech and Pfizer, the best vaccine, the quickest vaccine come out. And normally one vaccine takes 10 years from research to clinical trial to official approval, about 10 years. And Pfizer BioNTech vaccines being approved in 8 months. Wow, that's just something. As a businesswoman, I really, really admire Bill Gates. He's not just the richest person in the world. He's almost, nowadays, he can invest like a god. Another person I got is Elon Musk. Yeah, I admire him too. As a business person, he's an engineer. Yeah, he's an engineer. He's a brilliant engineer. But as a business person, he can almost invest like a god, like Tesla. Yeah, everything he touched turns into gold. Tesla, SpaceX, Neuralink, and everything. Yeah, I totally admire him, but as a business person, I know there are so many failures in business. But for Elon Musk, 100%, pretty much 100%, everything he touches turns into gold. And also like Tesla actually, the electric car industry, electric cars, including Tesla, never made profit yet, but every government, most of government promote electric cars, and the government give the electric car industry so much subsidies. Basically, no car makers making money yet, but they make lots of money from government support. Well, that's just another side talk. I'm supposed to talk about vaccine. But my question here, today I'm really just asking questions. My question is, we used to have brilliant businessmen, and I admire them. Nowadays, we have businessmen like God. They can time in everything investments. They can time in their investment perfect, like God. They can predict the market or even create the market like God. Is there something we should question? Why business world becomes so easy for some top billionaires? Why life is not that easy for small to medium business. With this pandemic, how many business going out of business? How many business shut down? How many people lose their money? But why they are top business people? They can invest and profit like gods. Okay, like I said, I'm not going to give you answers and solutions. I just remind you about the great philosopher Bertrand Russell. He said, the fundamentals of the troubles from modern era is the fool are cocksure and intelligence are full of doubts. I think that's the spirit we should all keep in mind. Like I said, I support vaccine, but I have the right to ask questions. I have the right to ask government, to ask business leaders, to ask our mainstream media. Why don't you ask the right questions? I'm just a very average person, and my IQ is average too. Why? I can ask these questions. Why don't you ask those questions? I hope more and more people join me to ask the right questions. Okay. Yeah, like I said, I don't have answer, and I just hope people. This is just ask questions. The more questions we ask, the more we're close to get answer, the more we're close to the truth. Okay, thank you very much. I see you next time. Bye-bye.